So you want to travel somewhere, but you might not have the largest budget. Well, that's no problem. My name's Christian, and after traveling to over 60 countries, here are the 5 cheapest countries you can travel to right now. Number 5 is Argentina, actually where this video is being filmed right now. Not only is this an absolutely beautiful country with beautiful food, places to go, people to see, but it's incredibly inexpensive if you're coming from a Western country. For example, a good meal at a restaurant here will cost you about $4.50. If you go to a bakery, it'll be about $1 to $2 for whatever you need. Public transportation here is also incredibly inexpensive. If you use your Sube card, rides on the buses or subway will be roughly 20 cents per ride. Also, the maximum amount of money you'll spend in an Uber is going to be roughly $6 to $7. And that's for a really far distance. For accommodation, if you're staying in big cities like Buenos Aires, hostels are going to be somewhere between $10 and $15. Or if you're staying in an apartment like this, paying the foreigner price, it's going to be roughly about $600 for a month to get your own place. That's a very different price if you're a local and or staying here long term. You'll pay roughly between $250 and $350 in rent. Another reason Argentina lands on this list is the free healthcare for all tourists and foreigners. That is an incredible value that cannot go unnoticed. Number 4 is Morocco. This is a country that not only surprised me with its beauty, but its prices. I don't think I've ever stayed in a cheaper hotel in my entire life in the city of Chefchaouen. I got a hotel room all to myself for $7. Now, it wasn't fantastic, but for $7, it was pretty great. And for food, if you're eating on the street like a little sandwich or a snack or something, you're gonna be paying $1 to $2 for that meal. But if you go into a restaurant, you're never gonna pay anywhere over $5 to $6 for a starter and a main course. Transportation is also really great within the country. The prices are too. The most expensive transportation is gonna be train, then buses, but then you get these things called collective taxis where you basically share with other people. I took a 3-hour drive for only $3. And flights are really incredible too, especially if you're flying from a country that's near like Spain or Portugal. I flew round trip on Ryanair for $16, so $8 each way into Morocco. Number 3, Bosnia. And if you've never heard of this country, well, neither did I until I stumbled my way in there. And I stayed for over 2 months. Let's start with apartments. I had a 2-bedroom flat looking over the capital city of Sarajevo, and it was absolutely beautiful, fully furnished, and it cost $350 for the month, and that's including the Airbnb fee. Onto that, I love drinking beer and coffee, and beer at bars and cafes are $1 or €1 for a pint. Additionally, I did a massive road trip within that country, and I rented a car for only $15 per day. It was a manual car, and just knowing how to drive manual saves you so much money while traveling because automatics are more expensive. But I will say my one issue with Bosnia is the airport. There's an airport in Sarajevo, that's the main one. Honestly, it might be the only one, but it's super tiny. It doesn't fly to a lot of places, so you have to get connections to other countries, and the price per ticket is usually a bit higher. Number 2, Thailand. Now, this country can be both cheap and inexpensive, but it all comes down to you. Are you willing to walk a little bit away from the touristy areas? Are you willing to go up north instead of south? And can you negotiate? One big thing about Southeast Asia in general is negotiation. No price that you're ever told is the actual price. Let's talk about the north of Thailand because that's where I spent most of my time, especially in the city of Chiang Mai. And we'll talk about accommodation first. Hostels are absolutely amazing all over Thailand, but in Chiang Mai, I was spending between $3 to $4 per night. This is including a bed, coffee in the morning, and a kitchen that you can use at all times. But if you want to stay in a hotel, you can get a room from anywhere from $12 to $13 per night. But also, I was eating dinner every single night in Chiang Mai for $1, maybe $1.15 or 20 cents. They also have amazing smoothie carts everywhere where you can legitimately get a smoothie for 50 cents, and knowing how much things cost back home, the smoothie I got there would be minimum $5 to $7. And one of the best parts about Thailand is renting a motorbike. You can pay roughly $5 to $7 per day to get your own motorbike and explore wherever you want. Thailand is honestly a country that I've missed every single day since I've left. But remember, when you go down south past Bangkok into like Phuket, these prices are going to be vastly different. Not super expensive, but super different than the north up in Chiang Mai or Pai. And the number 1 cheapest country that you can travel to is Vietnam. Vietnam is a country that I have so much love for, not only for the prices, but the people, the food, the scenery. Everything about Vietnam is so incredible. And let's start with accommodation. I've never seen it cheaper in my entire life. You can find hostels legitimately for $1 per night, and these hostels even have private rooms for $2. And that hostel that I'm speaking of had a gym, it had a pool, it had a cafe, you got breakfast in the morning. You had to pay for breakfast food. It was roughly like 75 to 80 cents. Additionally, I rented a studio apartment that was connected to that hostel, and I paid $230 for the entire month. Transportation is also crazy inexpensive. You can take Grab bikes, which is basically our equivalent to Uber, across cities, and it won't cost you more than $3. On top of that, if you're eating from street carts outside, like let's say you're getting a banh mi, that's gonna cost roughly 70 cents to $1. And meals at really nice restaurants, including like a starter, an entree, and a drink, it is difficult to spend over $10. There was also this one time in Vietnam where I traveled to a city because I really wanted to stay in this luxury hotel suite, and I booked the most expensive room in this hotel, and the whole cost for the night was $50. Vietnam also has really inexpensive transportation within the country. They do a lot of these luxury sleeper buses where you get an entire bed, and roughly to travel, I'd say half of the country, so about a 14 to 15 hour bus, is roughly about $18 to $20. You do have to book them in ahead. Just watch out for some of the Vietnamese holidays, because when it's holiday time, prices go crazy. But for every country that I've mentioned on this list, you can live very well in that country for 1,000 US dollars. But when we're talking specifically about Vietnam, $500 in that country per month, that you are living very, very well. But travelers, that's going to be it for this video on the cheapest countries that you can travel to right now if you have a tight budget. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I really want to thank all the Patreon, YouTube, and Facebook subscribers for making all of this travel around the world possible. And if you have a topic you'd like me to discuss in a further video, just let me know in the comments below. But remember guys, travel is always a privilege, so enjoy every second of it. I'll see you next time.